All right, so now we're gonna get back to it, I guess. So let me go plug the phone camera back up. So, but anyways, here's the laptop back. So a lot of the error you're getting is the network speed and what do you call it in general. Do it together. Yeah, do it together. So anyways, click on that error messages, the health, the heart sign. So this shows you that just the simulation. Just
okay.
Get out of the simulation. Hit X on the simulation. Yep. Because we want to see real stuff. We actually have that problem. So we have a critical issues. A host, which is the node CVMs, are having problems. We also have a cluster services that are having problems. So what we need to do is fix the password. So the first things we're gonna go to is click on the bell sign. All right, so now we need to go ahead and actually go to the term PowerShell on your screen. Type in PowerShell in the start menu because we're gonna change the password. But before we do that, actually, you can pull up PowerShell.
Just pull it up?
You pull it up and just leave it open.
All right.
And then you wanna go minimize that PowerShell screen. And then you're gonna go to the dashboard where it says underneath of health, click on the drop down menu.
Underneath of health?
So you wanna click on settings. First,
so what are we doing right now again?
We're creating a username.
We're creating usernames. Okay.
For you. So that way you can manage this thing. Scroll down, click on authentication, and the users and roles. Actually, click on use local user management.
Local user management?
Yes. Hit add a user.
New user.
Type in your information.
Is this the same stuff, or we're just entering something new?
Oh, it's the same stuff that you made last time.
All right, I'll just keep it. Username, first name.
You sure you misspell your? Are you putting your email over there? Why does it look misspelled?
Well, I could use another one. I'm just playing.
Yeah, use whatever you got, man.
Well, I don't know that one. I don't remember.
Whatever you got, that's fine. You don't have to use the email, by the way.
Don't?
Yeah, get rid of it. Password. Make it secure. Do not show it, though. Check yourself admin. You like user admin, everything. And hit save. Oh, you missed. Your password has to be super complex.
Oh, you have to have a
character, and also you have to have uppercase, you see lowercase, and everything.
I have all of those. I will do that.
You're gonna have to generate something.
All right, save.
Okay.
We still need more.
It's super complex.
8 characters.
It's not the characters that mostly characters needed, but the way it's written down.
Oh, okay.
You have to have uppercase,
And
special character.
And also you can't use.
It's really interesting. You can only use one. You have to use at least one, but not consecutively. Just go to generate in Google or something you can remember. You remember you have to use this password to log into the cluster in a bit. So whatever it is, it's got to be something.
Why isn't this one doing when you have to type the password twice to make sure?
No, it doesn't do that because again, you made it to this far. You're an admin now. It doesn't need you to confirm.
Right.
It doesn't like that. This is hard lock. It does
at least one lowercase, one uppercase, and one digit and one special letters. I have all that in.
It does make it where you feel like, what the heck? Why am I doing wrong? I can pause the camera if you want to fix this up first.
No, it's good.
You sure?
Email is required now.
Oh my god. That wasn't the case before. I guess you're a new user. You're a standard user. That's why.
I have to find that character I used.
What, the email?
No, for the password.
I hope you know what it is.
I don't know. I typed it in my phone.
All right, welcome. Now go to PowerShell window. Actually, first thing we will need to do is log off out of here. Log off out of administrator. Now you log in with your new username and password. Perfect. Now you logged off. You can hit not now. Don't save it. We need, before we change the passwords, we're gonna need to go to drop down menu again under home. Click on settings. You want to click on
cluster details.
The first one. Go up.
Got it.
So this shows you the cluster name and everything else. So you want to change it, instead of 3N, just say cluster. We're going to make a 4 node later on. Just say cluster.
This is what we named it yesterday.
Yeah, that's what we named it. So erase that 3N. Just leave it cluster. That's it. Or you can make a 4 node cluster. 4 node because we're going to make a 4.
4 node.
4 node cluster. All right. It's to remove the extra dash next to the middle. Yep. Just got dash. Go if you want to go. Scroll down. You see over here, you got your virtual IP. Yeah. You have your iSCSI IP. So that's very important. Remember, we're going to need to know where to find that when we need to use it. It's safe. So that is later on, we're going to become very important. But
Which
right
one?
now,
Which one?
Both of them will become very important.
The virtual IP and the...
And then the data center, iSCSI data service IP.
So the only difference is to it.
So that one, we jumped on a couple IPs because we made the data IP later on. This, to explain to you what it is that the virtual IP is how Nutanix talks to CVM, each other virtual machine inside of it. The data IP is used for transferring data. So if you want to have your laptop, for example, you could map Nutanix storage, access it inside your laptop. You could save whatever data you have, your pictures inside Nutanix without actually using Nutanix environment. So hit save.
Save.
Next, you want to click on CVM, configure CVM.
Let me bring this chair right here. I don't know how that looks, but I'm a bit hunched.
Now you want to click on the configure CVM.
Did I hit save?
You already hit save, I think. All right, so we're back. We already did 10 minutes. The next second round. So now that we went ahead and configure CVM, if you go back, because the whole purpose is to make sure that we have our cluster. We're going to fix those errors later on, the host issues. The host is just showing us because it's a password. And if you click on the bell sign, it will tell you what problem it has. Like it says here, we have a default password on some of them. Right. And then we also have low network speed issue. And so this is fine. When we did it 2 days ago, that issue show up. If we change our password correctly now, it will disappear. But what we need to do now is just simply gonna be, I'll go back to this in the home, navigate under health, click on the drop down under health menu, and then click on settings. Now you're gonna click on, we're gonna go to all this menu in order. You understand? So we do the cluster detail. That's where you can configure your cluster detail and everything else. Click on CVM next. Configure CVM. So this.
What does CVM stand for?
CVM, controller virtual machine. The controller virtual machine, like we talked about, this is where it does all the heavy lifting. Without this three, this is nothing. Nutanix relies on this controller VM. They're the engine to this plane. Without them, nothing is working. One of them goes down, you have a problem. If three of them go down, you have a big problem. You your data could be at risk of losing. Right. So that's why you gotta configure the controller CVM correctly. Right now, you can go up to 64 gig of memory. We're gonna keep it 20 gigs because we're a little stingy with our memory. Right. Because I'm trying to do something cool with it. But right now we can keep it 20 gigs. If we want to go to 24 gigs, we can, and that's going to change them to 24 gig and whatnot. So, in fact, change them to 24 gigs just for the sake of the understanding. So you can see changing them to 24 gigabyte. Right. So that's what you want to do. If you hit apply right now, it's going to take forever. But don't change it right now because we don't have the time, the video to go and let it apply because it's going to actually reboot them, do all the things to them.
So this right here is just 3 virtual machines?
Yeah, 3 virtual machines. That's all it is. So control VM is just a virtual machine that does the operation for Nutanix in the backend. Those machines, you cannot connect to them. You cannot connect to them in the console in a way where you can interact with them. You have to do all through command line, CLI, PowerShell,
right,
or PuTTY. So now click on Convert Cluster on the next left-hand side. This one, it tells you if this was supported, you'll get an option to convert the cluster to storage cluster or whatever option we're getting. But we don't get that option, so we're good. Next, close that out. Expand cluster. This is something we're gonna do later. It's pretty cool because you see how this cluster we have is 3-node cluster, right?
Yeah.
We could actually take one node from one of the big cluster, put it in there, expand the cluster, make it bigger, make it 4-node cluster. Or we could combine the other cluster that has 3 nodes, 4 nodes. We could make it 8-node cluster or 11-node cluster. That's what expand means. So you can expand it, you can do all those things. And that means they will talk to each other, they will share storage, they will share network, they will share all the heavy lifting together.
Right.
That's what makes it truly enterprise. It's because you don't have one server you're relying on. You're relying on multiple servers to do your workload for you. Then you got configuration. This is where you actually upload ISO. ISO is for a ways to install Windows. So if you want to download Windows right now, what you're downloading is called something called ISO files.
Right.
So that is basically a way to upload. If you want to like Linux, download Linux, that's ISO. Windows, that's ISO. Server OS, that's ISO, basically. So let's do an example, for example. If you go to new tab, open new tab on here. I want to make sure you understand the ISO clearly. So go to Google, just type in Linux.
Ubuntu? Oh, Linux.
Ubuntu. It download the Ubuntu desktop, that's fine. I don't mess with the desktop, I usually like the server, but accept all this eyesight, it download. When you download this one, I want to show you why is it making you do all this? It's actually downloaded. You see how it said the extension is that ISO? That's what you're gonna upload. You see in the end, if you open the folder icon, you change the icon to that ISO. That means it's an ISO file. That's something that my computer can read, but most people don't know what it means. They're just like, what the hell is that? So that's what you can upload on the image configuration, your ISO file. And then when you're creating your machine, you're gonna tell your machine, I want you to boot from this ISO so you can actually make this into Linux machine or Windows machine based on whatever ISO you upload here. Then you got licensing. Next, click on the licensing.
Licensing.
We don't have licensing. We're using a starter licensing. We're not using any special licensing. That's it. Now click on reboots.
Reboot.
Reboot is if you wanted to reboot one of the CVNs, you can do that through here, or you can do it through command line. So if you check one of the boxes, it's gonna give you option to reboot. Don't reboot it right now because it's gonna take a long time to reboot. So, but that's how you can do. You could reboot that if it's acting up, if it's not working correctly, you could reboot it. Then click on the
Remote support.
This is where we enable remote support. We could disable it, and then you could do this. Where basically, Nutanix is a big company. They have a lot of enterprise support technicians. They have a lot of engineers that just support people. One of the things that makes Nutanix the best is because they will support you anything you have. Like they support you on the basic level or advanced level. Because of that, they can connect to your cluster with your knowledge or without your knowledge if you allow them to, and then they can actually could do diagnostics and help you and fix things for you. This is what's enabled. We can disable this right now because we don't really need that because this is out of warranty equipment and doesn't really need to do anything. Hit save. Again, the reason we do this is that in the production network, you leave that enabled, but you in here, we don't have to worry about it. Now hit software upgrade next. Software upgrade is just gonna tell you what OS, what hypervisor version you're running, what can you go to. Simply think of a Windows operating system upgrade. So when you have Windows 8 or Windows 11, 23H2, that's the version of Windows 8 that was released couple of months ago. Okay. Now they're in 24H2. So that's just basically upgrading to the next level. Now the problem with this cluster we have is old, so we cannot go to the latest and greatest. Okay, we're capped. Okay. We're getting option to do this, but we may not be able to go to do this.
So what's the latest one right now they have for?
The latest they have is 610. The other one they 610.
We have here
6.5. We have
6.5 right now. So we can go here and just download
No, we can't because it requires a lot of, and we may not, the cluster does not support it. It's older. That's why. Now, if you click on next to it, which says connect to Citrix Cloud on the setup, this is just like expanding this to where you can connect to Citrix. And Citrix is basically a virtual computer, company. They do something called VD, and you could do that. And then here, the next one is Prism Central Registration. Click on that. This is something we're going to deploy either today or tomorrow or next week. It's going to be cool. It's a way to manage this in a more granular way. It's going to make our life a lot easier. It's actually a modern way to deploy. With the setup, what we're looking right now, this is called Prism Element. This website we're looking at. This is not going to allow us to deploy Windows 11. It's not able to do that. Because Windows 11 supports a special solution called TPM. It's not going to allow us to do the TPM. That's why. And then next thing is Pulse.
Well, we're not doing anything today.
We're not doing this today.
Right.
But if you want to deploy, we could do that. Pulse is a way, again, to Nutanix to support you to get all your realistic data of what's going on with your cluster. I disabled it. That's fine. Or you don't have to do here.
Just go back to rack
configuration. This is, again, if you have multiple things going on, you could do fault tolerance, you could do rack assignment, everything else. You could do that. Right now, we don't have a whole lot. So again, this is also requires you to have pro license. We don't have pro license. We don't need to purchase pro license because it's going to cost over
100,000.
Yes, it's a lot of money.
Why would you need a pro license?
Because they need support. Most of it's support, somebody to support you. If something goes wrong right now and you don't have the knowledge to fix this error messages, you have to call pro support. If you have the knowledge, luckily for us, I have the knowledge to fix it.
Right.
But if you don't have the knowledge, you need support to help you with it.
And that's what costs
over 100,000.
Over 100,000.
Yeah.
Oh,
because they're spending time. You can call them anytime you want to. Night, day, weekend. You can call them. They'll help you with it. That's time they have to pay.
So instead of if a business or a company, they have Nutanix, whatever, they don't need to hire someone to take care of that.
They still need somebody that can hire. So here's the thing, right? They still need a dedicated engineer.
Right.
But that dedicated engineer may not know Nutanix because it's a super proprietary solution. Okay. So they may not know all this command line. They may not know all this Genesis, all this Zeus server. They don't know there's something called Cassandra server. All those terminology Nutanix has, and they may be good IT person, but they may not have the experience and expertise to know about that. So because of that, the Nutanix support helps them. He can, when the IT person gets hired, they can call Nutanix support and work with the engineer because they understand what they've been told to do. Unlike somebody else who doesn't have IT background. So you still need somebody with IT background. So go to HTTP proxy next.
Does AWS work the same way as well? Or
I think every modern services work the same way. They want you to hire an engineer, but if the engineer doesn't know or needs help, they can help him. But they don't want you to not hire an engineer because they cannot help you from the ground up. Some people who never done Linux, So you have like Joe Smo, you say, what is Linux? They don't want that. They want somebody who actually knows what it is. They're just missing maybe a couple commands. They need help with that. That's it.
Right.
So go to HTTP proxy next. This is just a proxy you can configure. We don't need to do that. We won't ever do that. So that's okay. Name server. This is DNS server.
Right.
This is DNS server. There's no problem here. But if there was a problem, this is what we change your DNS server. Right now we're pointing to our domain controller. That's our domain controller IP. And then click on network configuration next. We need to do the network configuration right now. So right now we don't have any subnet. In order for Nutanix to talk to the virtual machine, there needs to be a network to send the communication to that virtual machine. The hypervisor has network, but if you create a virtual machine right now, that virtual machine is not going to have network. You need to create a network subnet. So let's create a network subnet. So just name it like ITKY dash the cluster names of
G5B
dash VNet, virtual network.
like that.
Yep. And then scroll down and click on the VLAN ID. Hit 0, type 0. We don't have any special VLAN, so that means 0 is going to be the default. Hit save. That's good. Now we have a connectivity. If you get a virtual machine, you select this network and then you can do that. In fact, we're going to click on network switch next and we're going to come back to do something else, like image upload. We're going to upload that image we did. So over here, we don't have any switch. We don't have to add any switch. That's it. If we add a switch, we could add here and Nutanix will handle the IP management, the network port for us too. We don't have that. Next, click on NTP server. That's your time server. And it's very important to Nutanix because it needs to make sure all the clusters are up to date all the time. If you don't have your time server configured correctly, you're going to have issues. So that's why everything is necessary for the cluster to work. Again, our time server, we point into our domain controller, and that's it. Let me get a water. So far, I hope it's starting to make sense that all this is something you need to know the area. Not everything you're going to configure in your environment, but you need to know what area you need to change. In this case, we just created a network configuration. We created a subnet. We created a name DNS. We created time. We configured the time server. We configured a lot of these things, right? And then we need to go back. If you come to the SNMP, that one we don't need to do anything about it again. It's just one of those things that if we had to do something, this is all special configuration. We don't have to do anything.
Right.
It doesn't require. So if you click on the scroll down until the left, now you got security now. So it's security, cluster lockdown. Click on that. I'm giving you a tour basically for the whole thing. This is again, if you want to lock down the cluster, you want to do, instead of doing SSH, basically instead of typing the IP address on Linux command prompt and then connecting to it, you could make it to where you don't have to connect with a password. You can use SSH public key. It's a fancy way to authenticate. That's all it is. Next, click on data at rest encryption. This is again your encryption. Right now it's doing encryption. Again, we don't have a license to do this, which is fine. We don't have any license for this. Click on file system whitelist. Again, if we have file system, we want to whitelist, we could do this and we can whitelist a lot of file system. If something is having problem, we could whitelist and we could do this. We don't need to do that. SSL certificate next. This one we're going to have to do it. Because the reason you see what it says on the top of your website, you see not secure all the way on the top. Now secure. The reason that's not secure because we don't have certificate attached to it. If we attach our certificate, then this is going to be secure, or SSL certificate. Okay? And to do that, we can do it another time. This is again, when you start to get fancy. Right now, for what we need to do, we don't need that.
Right.
All right, so scroll down to authentication. You just did it right now. Click on authentication for a second.
We did authentication.
We can connect to the Active Directory, and we can create users from Active Directory and do all those things.
We
don't need to
do that right now.
We won't do it right now. Local user management. You just did it. This is where you create your username. Role mapping. Here's where you can do that, and then alerts and email configuration. This is where you can get an email for when something goes down. You get alerts real time. SMTP server next underneath the app. This way you can configure that to make sure the email actually works. Without this, it's not going to work. And then configure witness. This is a little bit more advanced features right now. We're doing a lot of advanced feature here. We don't need to worry about this right now. For the purpose of this, you don't need to worry about this. So now click on node degradation or degraded node settings. And that's fine. Enable that. That's okay. A lot of this, I don't want to say a lot because you're not going to mess with this right now. Some of this requires advanced licensing. I don't want to explain over it too much because it's just like we're not going to do it. But ultimately, just know that there's a lot more features available, a lot more configuration available.
Right.
But if you do click on Manage VM Hybrid Availability, this is something you can do. You can reserve a VM to be migrated to another node in case there's a failure with a single node. So this is something you can configure. If something fails, you want to make sure that you're backed up, you're protected.
Okay. So this one
It doesn't do it automatically because we didn't configure it. Sometimes you have to do it. It will do it automatically, but this is actually additional check you can do. And then here, capacity reservation, you can do this again. That means you won't use your entire storage. If something happens, it will preserve enough in storage, enough space, enough resources to be able to do what it needs to do to get this thing rebuilt. So you could click on that box, for example. It will make sure that it reserves enough to make sure this is done for you. So yeah, like right now it says your rebuild capacity to 1.26 terabyte to reserve to ensure that the cluster have the. So it's gonna use half of that basically if you want to do it. So don't save that. We don't need that. That's again extra protection. We're gonna use this for labs.
Redundancy
state we have 2 because we couldn't do 3 because we don't have enough nodes. Remember when he was telling you we can only do RF2 because we don't have 5 nodes. If you have 5 nodes or more, you can do RF3. Extra redundant. 1 means you don't have no redundancy. We at least got redundancy. That means we can tolerate 1 node failure. 1 node failure. That's what it is. And then here, if you click on language setting on the appearance, it's just click on the appearance. Yep. Language setting. This is what language you can use any language you want to. Japanese, don't change the language because I don't speak Mandarin, man.
I remember one time my phone accidentally switched. I don't know. The kids was playing with it, switched it to Chinese. It was so tough getting it back to.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy. Now click on UI config, UI settings.
So like these are the only countries you can use.
This is the only countries you can use.
Nutanix.
With Nutanix. This is supported languages. Any other language like Somalia, Swahili is not supported. But it's good though. And then you're gonna click on banner UI settings over here. UI settings. So this is where you can change it to dark theme. See if you hit continue now, it's gonna change it right now. Dark theme.
Which one do you have? Light
auto. That's set to auto. And then you can do 15 minutes idle for user. If you have 15 minutes, you don't do anything. It's gonna time you out, log you out. And then that's what it is. When it's doing upgrade, you can play games like little weird, little interesting game. See, you can play that.
Disable game. That's all.
We're not gonna disable it. That's it. Welcome banner. This is where you can configure nice scary messages. Hey, this is I teach Nutanix cluster. Do not touch it. Stay away from it. You could threaten people. If a failure to do this, failure to obey this is gonna be a problem.
Is it capital H?
Right? You have to make it all consistent. Anyways, you can enable the banner, you can do other things. So now you have an idea what you got the main settings. This is again, it's just speed run a little bit. But now we're gonna go to image configuration. Scroll up, image configuration. We're gonna upload our Ubuntu ISO. Not that one. Just leave it be.
Okay.
Hit upload and then just click on type in the name. The name of it is gonna be Ubuntu desktop.
Ubuntu.
Just like Somali.
Ubuntu.
And then click on the image type.
Bantu is a Fulani word as well.
Really?
So when people talk about Somali Bantu, because it means meatball in Fulani.
Really?
Somali Bantu.
Somali meatball. Oh man.
Annotation?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's better that way. I'm in the image too now. It gets everything. So anyways, so now you're gonna go ahead and click on the image type. ISO. Nice. Remember why is ISO, right? Because our image type is ISO. You could upload disk like VHD file, or you can upload ISO. We're gonna do ISO. But before we do that, I forgot one thing. It's in our to-do list. It was one of our to-do list. I'm gonna show you this. It was one of the to-do list. I'm gonna go back here, our whiteboard. Remember, we had to create what you call disk, special disk format. We didn't do that yet. We gotta change that. So let me go back to your thing. So need to go back, leave this alone for a second, cancel that. We need to go to storage, go to the settings menu. Underneath of the settings, click on the drop down menu underneath of settings. And then click on storage. Now, I'm gonna click on, first of all, you're gonna click on table, next to the overview, yep. Click on volume groups. Here, the volume group is something else, but go back to storage container actually. We're gonna change the container. Click on, yeah.
Storage container.
Scroll down, or scroll up. Click on the plus sign where it says container. All the way over here.
Storage container.
Create add a storage container. So name it what we want it to call, which is gonna be TKY dash VMs.
Just like that?
That's just like that, yep. Hit save. Click on storage pool for a second.
Storage container?
Storage pool. Next is still. So now click on a new storage pool. Add the new storage pool all the way. Actually, it won't let you modify. Click on the default one. Let me see if we can modify the default one. I don't like the default. Is it gonna let you do anything?
No, you can't.
Oh yeah, update. You have to do update here. We need to update the name. I don't like the gibberish. So erase this and just call it TKY-storage pool. Yep, there you go. That's much better. Hit save. Now go back to storage container again. Click on the ITKY VMs.
You can't click on it.
I should be able to update it. Yeah. See, now it tells you that ITKY VMs is under the storage pool. So that way we customize it. So now it doesn't look like we're just dropping things in a random place. You can create multiple storage container so we can organize it. One for ISO, one for VM. So we're gonna create one more storage container. So cancel this out of it. So click the plus sign for storage container again.
What are we gonna name this?
This one ITK ISO
Dash
ISOs and save it. So that when we did that, now we got those two. Now come back to the drop down menu under storage. We're gonna need to go to settings and then image configuration. Now upload your thing. Now you're gonna need to go ahead, name Ubuntu again and Ubuntu desktop. And sometimes what I like to do is add like version of the is because if you upload this one, it gets old. You want to know what it is. This I think is 24, I believe, version 24, Ubuntu desktop 24. Because when you're troubleshooting or you want to update this, you want to not be confused. What version is this? Am I using old version? If you see the version, you can have multiple versions. You can have 3 Ubuntu ISOs in there, different version. So now click on image
type
ISO. Yeah.
Is it ISO or ISOs? Because we typed ISO.
ISO is multiple. So just click on the image storage container. Now you see here we can do ISOs.
Like we have the VM here.
We're gonna do
ISOs.
Now click on upload file and then choose file. And then now we got a bunch of things here.
Downloads maybe.
Patch 4. Click on patch 4 here. I put my downloads in a weird place. And then hit open. See it's version 24. It shows you it's 24.4.2. So then hit save. What it's gonna do right now is this ISO is not that big. It's only 2 gigabytes, I think. It's gonna go ahead upload this in there. You can see the upload progress showing over there. It's gonna go look for it. It's gonna try to upload it there. Once it's done, then it's gonna be ready to go ahead and be ready to make it active. Once we make it active, we can create a VM. We can do other things. And I think what I wanted to do today is to create a VM, Ubuntu desktop VM, with all just the setup you're doing. So wait for this to be done, but I don't think we need to even wait because there's a lot more to do.
Go back to the
objective we have is we're gonna need to check off some anyway. So we did a lot so far, so we need to come over here.
We need to create an account.
Oh my, this kid, like this one is fine. So we gotta create an account. That's done. We name the cluster. That's done. We check the NTP server. That's done. We check the DNS server. That's done. We went ahead. Check the ISCSI data service, that's done. We went ahead, check the name of the disk we made 2 disks actually, YTKY dash ISOs, obviously IOS. Yes, ISOs, we did this, we did that. Now, we need to update the cluster, we need to do this, but I think we're actually doing something that wasn't on the list, but it's good you need to do it because it kind of goes in order. What we do right now is we're actually installing, we are uploading ISOs, we're creating VMs. Then obviously we already went ahead and changed the default password, so I need to check that one off too. This is already done. So we just need this left over here. This is what's left. We gotta do this. And then we also gotta do more. I'm forgetting here. We gotta do SSH change passwords. So we're gonna need to change the passwords. So we're gonna need to change the passwords for all of the CVMs. So again, if we do this, everything works well. In the end of the day, once you do all these things, you're gonna have to be able to use your Ubuntu desktop. And then health, everything is health. Check.
You gotta try a little bit harder on the handwriting.
Handwriting is not gonna be key. So,
I can read it.
But anyways, that's pretty much what we gotta do. So we gotta do this. If we can do that, that'll be perfect. So let me go back and actually switch back to what it is. People are gonna probably be not able to read that, but it's okay. So this still got 70%.
Almost there.
But do you have any question, anything so far that we discussed? Anything that I'm not so sure about this? There's gotta be something, hopefully. Maybe if it's not something, then maybe we just did a good job, or I don't know.
I think you're doing a good job explaining.
I mean, I expect a lot of this. You're gonna have some question about it, and maybe reviewing this video might help you.
Yeah, that's like I wish you had sent me that video you was talking about earlier. So
that would have helped you.
So all of this is still fresh.
It'll be nice, but next time we can prepare for it for sure. We will prepare for it next time. So let's go back to.
Do we have to stay on the screen while it downloads, or I can leave the screen?
Actually, we could do something else. We could multitask, but...
Well, it's at 92 right now.
What happened to the connect screen? Did it end it? Oh, no. Let me go back to that screen. So our wireless display screen just got closed down. I think that's we're getting kicked off, so kicked off Surface like saying. So if you want to do same thing again, connect to wireless display. Remember how you do it last time? Type in connect on the start menu.
Connect. This one, right?
Oh, I don't see your screen, so you got it though. That's ultimately what we wanted. The result needs to match. So go 100%. Now this is not done. You see how it says inactive? This disk inactive means that it's not really doing anything right now. So it needs to be active before you can use it. So I think if you refresh it, it should be active now. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes to be active. Go back to the image
configuration.
There you go. Okay. So now, normally, if you're doing Windows, you do need another drivers, another set of things to do. But because we're not doing Windows, we're doing Linux. You can just create a new VM. Click on VM.
VMs.
Create. Click on table. At the moment, check what it says include in CVM, because CVMs are hidden from you by default because they're dangerous VMs. You cannot delete them.
Okay.
That's why it's not showing to you. But this is your
because
CVMs.
These are the three original.
Yes, right? They're hidden from you for the reason to protect you from yourself.
But we just created 2 VMs earlier.
No.
We created the storage.
So we're gonna create a VM to put in the storage now. So if you click on the new VM on the all the way on the right hand side, what it says the plus VM all the way. Yep, there you go. Now just name ITKY. The naming convention is always going to be ITKY for us.
ITKY dash
UN desktop.
UM.
So UN desktop Ubuntu.
Or UN.
Or UB. Whichever. You're the admin right now. I'm not with a keyboard. Whatever you say goes right now.
We're going to do UB.
Okay, that's fine. Scroll down. This is the description. You want to make something, what does this do? This is like you can just say test of Ubuntu's deployment. But whatever you make the description, it goes. Basically, you don't want to have to spend too much time on that.
Just testing first.
Yep.
Is good?
That looks good. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to configure as an agent. That's all. Time zone, you don't want to touch it either. It's okay. That's going to be determine the OS later on. So click on the CPU. So you want how many CPU you want to give this to VM? Because remember, resources, we have a lot of resources. So you want to give it to 2 CPUs.
I don't know if that's a lot. Or if that's
it's not a lot.
That's not a lot. Okay.
So you want to give it the core. The first is we have to give a virtual CPU. This is the virtual processor you want to give it to. So on the top, give it 2 CPUs. Number 2, and then you want to give it 2 per core. So 2 per core.
Of course.
So then you're gonna give it 8 gigabyte of memory. When hit, say I scroll down, you're not done yet. So remember, you have to add a disk. This is like this by default. This thing doesn't know what to do. You create it, it won't boot because there's no hard drive. There's no bootable disk. So you need to attach hard drive and bootable disk to this thing. And you also need to attach a network, so that way it has Ethernet. So you basically think of this messing with this real computer over here. You're basically attaching a network card right here. You're attaching a hard drive. Think of that. That's what you're doing.
All of it
in one move. So first things first, what I recommend is edit the CD-ROM. So this is like when you're ejecting the CD-ROM and you're putting your own CD that has ISO on it. Back in the days, that's what we used to do in Windows. We used to actually put ISO in their physical CD. So you want to click the drop-down menu. And then clone from image server. Drop down menu again. Hit SATA.
SATA. What's SATA?
SATA is new standard. IDE is the old standard. So click on image. Click on save and hit update. And again, there's more explanation to this, but if you get the explanation, you probably need to be here for longer than what you need to be. So hit update. So what you just did is right now you attached CD-ROM to your CD-ROM. So that way, when the computer boots, it will see that ISO. Okay, that's what you did. So very important. Without doing that, the computer doesn't know what to do. What can I do? It boots up with an empty hard drive. It can't do anything about it. But you didn't even add a hard drive. So you need to add a hard drive right now. So add a new disk. Scroll there. Add a new disk over there. So change the storage container. Or you're not cloning from anything. You're going to be adding new disk. So it's going to be leave iSCSI is fine. So drop down menu under the storage container. Remember, we created a storage container for VMs. So you want to use
this one?
The VMs. That one, yep. Then you want to give it, how many gigabyte of storage is it acceptable for you? Is it 50? Is it 80? Is it 100? Is it 2000? 2 terabyte? What do you want to give it? You only have 2 terabytes, so you don't want to give it 2
terabytes. 48?
I would say give it
60.
60 is fair. It's a Linux machine. It doesn't consume that much storage. So hit add. That's all you need to do. So that's basically the disk that will be installed the operating system on. When you boot from the CD, the operating system got to install somewhere. This is the disk that will install. This is the disk later on when you eject the CD. Yeah. This is the disk where you will boot from every time. This is where you save your data. Very important. So this is long-term storage and the memory is short-term storage. So that's what it is. So scroll down. Network card. It's very important. Without network card, you're not going to be able to go to the internet. So you need to add a NIC. Then you only have one right now. If you're in a different environment, production environment, you might have multiple nick. So you just hit add the one you have, and then scroll up, review what you did, so you understand everything. So scroll up all the way. So what do you explain to me what you did here, just so that way I understand you got it.
You're gonna put me on the spot.
I'm gonna put you on the spot.
All right.
Start with the name.
With the name, so we added the Ubuntu that we downloaded. Well, we're testing the first Ubuntu deployment.
Right.
I don't know. And then we added the
ISO. The terminology is gonna be interesting.
I don't have the terminology. That's why I was saying
You have to keep doing it.
get some of these terminologies right with their definitions and stuff, so I can actually.
Because when you're talking, you wanna use those terminologies to make sense of it. Sometimes you might be saying what you wanna say, but without the correct terminology, people may not speak. It's like a different language, is almost in IT.
Because I'm saying disk, I'm like, what is a disk? You're saying I can't even define the storage.
Yeah.
Well, I know what storage is, but I'm not gonna be able to define.
Well, there's different type of storage, different type of disk, right? Different types. So you have iSCSI storage, you have IDE storage, you have SATA storage, you have M.2 storage, you have Nano storage. You got
Right.
so many storage, right? But the point of the matter is that it is complex. You're dealing with a big enterprise environment that is basically all these things all built in together. It's a really nice layer. It's really easy. The memory is the biggest thing you remember about storage is that you have two storage. You have the memory storage and the disk storage. The memory is short-term storage. The storage, this disk is long-term storage. That's all you need to remember. And then the memory, you don't have to give it a lot because 8 gigabytes is sufficient for computer. Even 4 is sufficient. But storage disk, like actual disk storage that store data, you need to give it more because the data is going to be a lot. Like the operating system to install on, it requires minimum number of storage.
So the disk here we gave it 60 gigabytes. What about this one right here?
This one is just the ISO. It's like a bootable thing. It's by default the ISO size is about 5 gigabyte, and that's it. So scroll down now, and you give it attached to your network card. So your network card is basically like this. And now we hit save. In a minute, it's gonna create it. So uncheck the CVM because we don't need to see them. We can't really do nothing with them. They're not really real VMs as far as it created your VM already. So now you have a 4-core VM because you give it 2 CPU. You give it 2 per core. That equals 4 core basically. So now you wanna go ahead and actually turn it on. Right click and turn it on.
This one?
Right click and turn it on. Power on. This is what it's doing is it's turning on the VM. It's booting up. Once it boots up, then you can interact with it. So right click again, connect to the desk, connect
to the console.
There you go.
Launch console.
Yeah, launch console. Hit enter to install. Make it full screen so people can see. Okay, hit try or install Ubuntu. Just enter key should be fine. There you go. What it's gonna do is gonna try to go ahead and actually boot from the ISO. If you don't have ISO, this is not happening. It doesn't know what to do. It's gonna be blank. So that's why the ISO you download it. Even though we just did it willy-nilly, it's important to what we're doing right now. And you're getting this nice layer screen saying Ubuntu is being installed. It's definitely something that, let's just say, it's not something that you're gonna just get it one day. It's gonna take some multiple trying, experimental. Highly recommend you have your own computer
like lab
to build it and to play with it. Because that's how you can start to.
I feel like I will need to do this 2, 3, 4, 5 more times.
If you have to do 100 times, as long as you're willing to do it, that's it. Okay. What kind of logo do they got, Linux? It looks like they're Illuminati shit.
I need to leave.
I don't know. You're the one that downloaded it.
The Ubuntu sounds a bit witchcraft. Where did they get the Ubuntu from? Is it like some type of?
They made it. It's a variant of Linux.
It sounds like a West African language.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it sounds like Swahili.
I don't know where they get it from. We're gonna have to look at the origin, where they get the name from.
Because that doesn't sound English influenced at all.
Let's ask AI where the Ubuntu name. I'm asking here name origin. It says here the name Ubuntu for Ubuntu Linux distribution comes from South African concept of humanness, meaning humanity towards others.
So it's Zulu?
I think they got it from South Africa. So
okay.
I am because of who we all are. Originally in Bantu language like Zulu. And
so it is related to Bantu.
It's literally African.
Okay, that makes sense.
You can't make this up, you know?
I was just like, where did the Ubuntu? How did you come with
No, that's why maybe I love Ubuntu because I'm Bantu.
You're Bantu. You're from West Africa.
Okay, we'll install Ubuntu now. Man, that's why we gotta like Ubuntu. There's Kali, Linux, and other types. So fine. You don't need to set up.
Imagine going like in an interview. They're like, so why do you love Ubuntu?
Because I'm South African or I'm a West African.
Because I'm Bantu.
Okay, that's a good one. Actually, I must say that one day.
You gotta find a way to
integrate that, right? I hit next,
Next.
and then just a simple basic installation.
Okay.
So it's gonna want to update. Apparently,
You're gonna update it or skip?
hit update it.
It's available for install.
Yeah.
Okay.
The version you download, even though you download it from their website, it's already outdated. Ubuntu updates all the time. Okay, I like Apple. Apple don't do nothing. It says close up to the launch. Okay, hit close.
Oh. So it's like the virtual.
This is not installed yet. You have to.
It's not installed yet.
You have
It's
to
like
install
the Ubuntu desktop.
Yes,
right,
this is
right?
Ubuntu desktop. I think you're gonna like Linux, man. Linux is awesome.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, so double click on the install Ubuntu there.
Oh wow.
Does it allow you to click? Yeah, it should
Yeah.
take you back to the installation because at this point in time, that was just preview. You didn't install anything. That's not written to the hard drive. It's written to the memory.
Oh,
if you reboot it,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to do anything, and you have to do the same thing again every time. It's annoying. That's why you have to write it to the hard drive so you can use it every time you want to.
Well, you said we can make how many like this?
Oh, we can make what was it? I think last time we did 27,000, 2700 VM.
Okay, I got.
Yeah, you can make 2700 Ubuntu VM. Hit next. Okay.
Like you don't have to pay to store it, right?
No, no.
Because you already
This
have
is
the
our
stuff
private
here.
cloud.
Okay, okay.
This is our local cloud running in where you set up over there.
Oh, okay.
So everything's free for us.
Okay. I
Hit
just-
next. I hope you understand what you're doing, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's just
it
simple
started
walking you through what you need to do. You want an interactive installation, automated installation. That's you want to do the actual interactive because you now have a YAML file.
Okay.
Okay, hit that's default selections. Everything is
Is default on these? Just
okay. Now you want to install third party like software for graphics. If you want to, if you had it, you could do that. But you're not doing this. Uncheck that. Okay, you do something. You could install like a Docker by default or so. Here's what you need to do. Advanced in the future. Like you have to erase the disk because that's where you can mess with it. So hit next. It's gonna erase for you. It's gonna do everything for you because now it wants you to create a username. This is your machine. Your name and then your username.
Okay. Just type the whole thing. Well, you
And
can.
do space on the name, but not on the. We see it's doing dashes on the computer name because Ubuntu does not like. Linux don't like uppercase or spaces. It has to be all lowercase. Yeah.
What's the AHV?
AHV is where we're running. That's the operating system. Our hypervisor AHV. That's what it is. You can change that, I think, if you wanted to. Yeah, it's called customizable. So your computer name it should be ITKY. ITKY. It's all. It's gonna have to be all lowercase, I think. ITKY dash Mokhtar. So I know it is because it's gonna show in my network. I need to know what is this.
Okay.
And then you need to change your username to. I think ITKY is fine for username, and then the password, whatever you wanted to do, or you can make it your username Mokhtar. Actually, make it your
Just
username. Okay.
RTKY.
I know you're not gonna remember that. Just make.
Just make it Mukhtar.
Yeah, your name. At least we know you got this. And then the ITKY is not nothing personal to you. I know about it, but you don't know about it. So
That's a lot of passwords, man.
a lot of passwords. So this one it doesn't have to be that complex. It could be
doesn't have to
anything. And this one's not complex. Okay. Using Active Directory, you can actually join the Active. That's a new thing. They used to make it hard to do that. Now you can do it. Don't join the Active Directory.
Okay.
I don't want to do that. Okay. Where you live. It tells you you use. It already knows we live in Louisville.
Where do we live?
Yeah. Next, it detected our location. It's spying.
That's already.
So hit install. So what this is gonna do is before you hit install, it's gonna format your hard drive. In this data in there, it gets wiped. If it's a physical computer,
Yeah.
you do this, it's gonna wipe everything. But because we're using Nutanix, it's a brand new. We're not worried about data getting wiped. It's really easy for us. Install, and there you go. Enjoy fast, free, and full new features. I know people that are religious Linux fans. They run Ubuntu all the time
Really?
for their daily things. Whether you're a developer, creator, gamer, or administrator, you'll find new tools to improve your productivity and enhance it. I used to like Linux when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It was my favorite, man. And I used to like. I didn't mess up with Microsoft a lot.
Yeah.
I only use Microsoft to fix things and here and there. Ubuntu has gotten stronger, gotten better and powerful. They even have Spotify now. Wow. I haven't messed with it so much in a long. I messed with the server a lot. A bunch of them by the desktop.
So this is just like you can use like within the VM.
No, yeah, you use Spotify with it, but this is like instead of using Windows, it's like an actual operating system that actually lets you. Oh wow, they got Visual Studio Code and they got IDEA. They getting up there. And Linux, the only thing about it, Linux is that everything is open source most of the time.
Okay.
So Windows, you have to pay for apps. Here it's open source. You don't have to worry about license because if you're trying to do licensed Windows, you have to pay for Windows license. You don't have to worry about that now. They got Blender, they got Audacity.
What's Blender?
Blender is like a what send the graphics of the computer. You can use you actually create some nice like Adobe Acrobat Pro or something. But like what is it called? Adobe, I forgot the name. I forgot. It's been a while. They got OBS too.
Discord OBS. Oh, okay.
Because OBS is open source.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that Adobe one, but they got it's like it's really cool. People make a lot of graphics with it. Firefox, Brave browser, Bitwarden. Man, this thing, I run it full my machine.
Oh, you just find it now?
I didn't realize they support so much because when I used to use it
so
very
recently
recent.
added these.
Well, not recent, like for me it's recent because I haven't used Ubuntu desktop for a long time. I've been a Windows shop for a long time. Now I'm kind of liking the fact that it's getting faster. And you got Teams too, so that means you can do meetings, Slack.
Oh, no.
Yes. It's going to use your memory and computer resources efficiently. They don't have an Office, they got LibreOffice. So if you don't, instead of using Office, they got LibreOffice. That's basically the way it is to go. Basically, when you run Ubuntu, you got zero payment. You don't have to pay anything. It's literally have your OS is free. If it's Windows, you got to pay for operating system license. You got to pay for Office license. And you got to also worry about support. And you also have to worry about Windows come with a lot of bloatware. Ubuntu, everything is like, it just works better. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to get away from Ubuntu.
Yeah.
I might run it. I'm not going to get away from Windows, actually. But I'm going to run Ubuntu just to see. So, yeah, we're doing good so far. We've been doing this for about almost 2 hours now. This is all the command line is doing now. It's doing the actual command line.
So how many storage does this one have? Again, we have 60.
60 gigabyte of storage. Yeah. We give it 60. We could give it more. We didn't have a limitation on that. Yeah, you're looking at what's going on behind the scenes. That's why. It's good to see the behind the scenes. This is what the users see, and this is what a lot of admins see. Just like the Nutanix, remember?
Yeah.
Linux-based, this Linux-based. Windows can't do that to you. Windows can't show you what's behind the scenes because
they can, or they just don't want to.
They lock down the kernel, just like Apple does the same thing too. They lock it down. Apple is the most locked down thing actually.
Is there a reason why they do that, or
just to make sure that you don't mess with it? Because if you delete Windows like System32,
yeah,
you will not boot up again. Like it could do a lot of damage to it. So they want to protect you from it, and you can still do a lot of damage if you know what you're doing with PowerShell and other things. But part they like to keep it from your face, so that way you don't do it. This is where you install an operating system, you tend to get away from it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was yesterday.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
We still need to get our objective, so I'm hoping this thing will be done. Once this is deployed, you don't have to worry about using it. You know, we could probably go ahead and get started on the next task while this is deploying. Because it's not dependent on each other. We can come back and check on this.
So we just
go to the PowerShell window on there. Yep. Okay, so what we're doing next is to explain to you. We're doing, online to manage the Nutanix environment, CVMs. We need to change the password so we don't get the error message. If you go back to the Nutanix portal, like the next tab, go back to the portal again. I have to, there you go.
Here, right?
Yeah, click on the bell icon. We have a problem. The problem we have in the bell icon is that, actually not sure. See, it says here, if you expand that, it says the host is using default password. So if you have like the password is default, everything is default. So we don't want the default password.
Where is that?
Here.
Oh, okay.
This a while back, but we need to change it. So we failed two things, and those are one of the things we failed.
Using default.
So if you go back to the PowerShell screen, type in SSH. Space Nutanix. Actually, sorry. Type in actually, you're right. Nutanix dot
space or no space.
Dot 192.168.1.210. Hit enter. Hit yes. So what are you doing is you're connecting to the Nutanix CVM from the backend to manage things. So the password is gonna be Nutanix/4u.
That's the one you had previously.
Yeah, that one default one. Because that's what we need to change the default one. So Nutanix. And you can't see what the password you're typing, by the way.
You erase?
You can erase, but you cannot see what you're typing. So you just have to hope that.
But the cursor is not moving when I'm typing.
It won't move either.
Okay.
That's the part of the security.
So Nutanix/4u. Enter.
Yeah. There you're in. You got in. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna change the password. Instead of that password, we're gonna change it. So we're gonna do sudo sudo. Sudo is just basically super admin.
Okay.
Yeah. Pass wd space Nutanix. Okay, hit it. Okay, I'm gonna have to type the password. So let's switch. No, keep it there.
You're gonna use that?
Oh yeah, actually, let's use it. I'm gonna type the password because this is a backend one. I need to know what it is to manage it. Okay, so we changed the password. I was getting a lot of mismatched password. So that's what we did is we changed the default Nutanix. So nobody's gonna be able to get into our system using the default password.
Which was the other one?
Which was
the previous one?
So now we do the same thing again. Scroll back down. Okay. Type in sudo wd.
No, sudo pass.
wd. So and then you're gonna do admin space admin. So what are you doing is this command is telling here super user change password for admin. That's all you're saying to it.
Okay.
Okay, so hit enter.
Sudo pass admin.
Delete.
Just change it. Okay.
Yeah, so hit enter, and this is where I need to type in the password, the new password.
The new one again?
Yeah, the new
I
one.
thought you put the new one on.
No, I did it for Nutanix account. Now I have to do it for the admin account.
Okay.
So you have to do it for everything.
So do you have to do it for my account after that? Or
No, this is only the back end one. What we're doing is all back end stuff, like because Nutanix environment
Yeah.
can manage from the back end, so I could change your password without having to go to the GUI. I could come in as a hacker and change whatever. Oh, this one's already used, so I already used that one. So I guess I did change that one. Yeah, I changed that one already. So let me leave it that one. Let me. The next thing we're gonna do is root. Try the root, see if it's changed or not. So ultimately, what we're doing is just making sure the system is secure. We're running a big system over here, and we want to make sure that it's good and secure. So SSH root 192.168.1.210. See, now I also got access to.
if you need to go up.
Yeah. You're being a student. That one I couldn't get in here. But point of the matter is that we changed a lot over here, and we're gonna go back to the Linux desktop and check that. I think we'll go back to the other screen. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Let me refresh this for a second. Okay. Click on what it says here. Like click on health icon. Yeah, heart icon. Wanna do a action button? Yeah, over all the way here. Yeah. Run NCC check. That's basically you're running a health check. And then only for the 3 failed or warning. This checkbox, this one, yeah. What it's gonna do is gonna run to see what we did actually did anything. If we did, we'll get a green signal.
Yeah.
If we didn't do it, I know we didn't do one of them. I only did one. That's the host one.
So this we've only done this in the back end.
Yeah, that's what can only be done in the back. All this fixes gotta be done in the back end. What we do is the front end stuff. But there's so much more things to get done in the back end. But let's go back to the this is gonna take a second to run. You see, it's almost running. Click on that 9, the number 9 over there. Put it there for a second. I want to see if it's actually going to show up. So he said it finished the health check. So refresh it, see if it changed anything. So you can see the customer service is good now.
Okay.
Green. We still have a problem with the host. Click on
With the
what
host?
failed. So click on what they failed.
Oh, it failed.
Yeah, what failed. Host, and I knew this was a problem because I didn't change it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you change the host password. If you change the host password, it's going to be good. But that's it. We can fix things in the back end, and this one we're going to do another time. Because remember
Well, we
to do
did
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to the Ubuntu desktop. Make sure, go back to the other screen. Yeah. Go back. Yeah. Okay, you have to eject your CD-ROM. He's going to try to boot from the CD again. So click when it says mount ISO. He hit unmount. Actually, let's do it. Probably just to do it from the menu over there.
Okay.
Because it says remove the installation media. So we need to go back to the shut down this machine.
Just go out.
No, use the power button over there. Power cycle down.
Oh, off a power cycle.
Yeah. Because we need to actually remove the CD-ROM. Sometimes they won't do it while the machine is on. So you need to go back to the other menu. Okay, come to the VM screen. Health under health and then VM. Okay, right on there under Ubuntu one. Not them. Because that one you don't want to see VM again. You know, it's the only one we can stay away from. No. I'm gonna remove the CD-ROM first. So biggest thing is remember it tells us hey you need to remove the installation media.
Yeah.
This is what we need to do to remove it. So you scroll down. Okay, and then check this box. Hit X on the CD-ROM. Yes. We're deleting this disk CD-ROM. That's it. By doing that, we won't boot from the CD anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. We deleted the CD-ROM. So hit save. And now turn it back on and it should be good. And this is going to be the last thing we're
power
gonna,
on?
Yeah, power on. If it works, it'll be the last thing we'll do today because I know it's a lot. It's getting a lot. Yeah. And I want to make sure that even editing wise, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be 3 hours editing because there's things that we probably said and that. So, and now come over here to
Are you going to watch it, like rewatch the whole thing or just play on the background?
Yeah. But click on it. I'm not going to rewatch. I'm going to let AI watch it and I'm going to just
power on, right?
Refresh it.
Okay.
Refresh it. Sometimes the console is not going to give it to you until you refresh it. So there you go.
We got it already.
There you go. Now click on it and log in with your password. Sorry. Oh no. Because if you forget, you're going to have to reset it with admin or reinstall again. There you go. That's it. Your Ubuntu desktop is ready. The only operating system that's for Africans. Now you can try Firefox, see if it comes something. I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, it's good.
Save and continue.
No, you don't have to say. Skip.
Skip. I'm just checking.
Okay, let's go something. To YouTube and let's go to IT skills. One of the videos, or let's pull up something.
Wait, so that's your own password?
There you go. Click on the Surface one. Scroll up. What is the Surface one? It showed up. Scroll down.
Yeah, you get that merch.
Yeah, you got merch. Scroll down. Oh, this one. Click on this one. A long time ago I made this. Damn, that was a long time.
You've been making videos.
I've been making for a while. But obviously there's no audio. You know why there's no audio? Because we're using a web browser. If we connect this for our, we'll get this. This is hosted in Nutanix. Nutanix doesn't have audio. It's not a desktop thing, you know.
Does it have audio?
Audio. The machine, we're connected to the web browser. And the web browser doesn't have audio configuration, things like that. So, but yeah, that's it, you know, so other things to do in there. That's a long time ago. But anyway, so I think we got what we need. You know, don't need to do a whole lot anymore. I would say it's time to end it. I want you to summarize. I want to summarize what we did though before we end it. Just so that way we know. This is kind of helps you maybe when you're writing.
Could you send me the other, like the
whiteboard?
Like the
I can
objective
share.
and stuff?
I can share with you.
Okay.
So let me,
Will I have to log into my TA checkout? I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have access to that.
So just to summarize what we did, because this is kind of, we did a lot. We went ahead. So in this video or in this lab, we went ahead. We did common changes to the cluster. Number one thing we did is we went ahead, made you an account so you could log into the cluster, Nutanix Prism Element. We went ahead, changed the cluster name for the sake of testing. We went ahead, checked the time server, it was good. We went ahead, checked the DNS server, it was good. We went ahead, checked the iSCSI data service, it was good. We also went ahead, checked the disk naming, storage container naming, and everything. We changed it to the container name to this one, TK VMs and ITK ISO. So we can store ISO here, virtual machines here. We also didn't have a chance to do this one. This one, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to do this one. I'm gonna circle it out. We didn't get a chance to do this one. But we went ahead, changed the default username. That's done. We went ahead, uploaded ISO. That's checked. We went ahead. Let me get a different pen consistent. We did that, and then we also went ahead, created VMs. We went SSH into the CVM. We changed the password. We used Ubuntu desktop by you going to Firefox and doing something. We checked the health. It was improving. So this is partially complete, basically. So the only thing we missed is updating this, and then we need to finish this. But we did all this objectives. So we pretty much did like so many, which is why it took over 2 hours to do, even with the recorded footage that we probably lost. So that's all we have. And so in the next video, we're gonna finish this. We're gonna try to deploy Prism Central. We're gonna try to do a whole lot. So hopefully, you enjoyed it. I know it's a lot. We sometimes go into rampage here and there, but we're trying to bring content for you. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you did, subscribe, like the video. Until next time, have a good day. Peace.